Cool, so what I'm going on to now is creating a vein mask. So I'm just going to paint this black and white in scalar. I don't do this like the previous layers I've been doing where I dial a color and paint with color. With vein masks I tend to I like to paint a full kind of vein set, just the cosmetic veins on the surface, even if I don't use all of them and I mask some of them out or fade areas back. I just like to paint a full mask for them, just so they have somewhere to go. I don't like painting veins that have no purpose, and I think using reference and just it's also a really good way to play with the form of the geo and just think about how the character functions. Then I find veins incredibly beautiful, and it's it's an enjoyable process. And yeah, as I said, even if I don't use all of them, and I fade areas out, at least the areas you'll see should have I hope, an added realism to them, because I'll be heading somewhere to feed part of the facial structure. Yeah, so that's my general thinking. I'm adjusting the lighting here. When I'm doing this, my primary thing is to respect any hints of vein that are in the sculpt, obviously, because if they're displaced in the model, you should be able to see them. So I take that into account and then just use reference and a bit of creative license to fill in the rest. But yeah, they're all, if you look at anatomy books, generally veins are going somewhere to feed something. So whether it's the eye or the brain or the ear, it's worth having a look at. Also, I paint them reasonably hard, and depending on how they end up in the final render, I might go back and blur the whole lot, or just blur regions where I want them to fade out. As a general rule, just starting with the main veins and arteries, and then working out to all the secondary and tertiary veins. And by the time you get to the finer ones, it's pretty much entirely up to creative license, as they're always different. Some of these really fine ones, once you get them in a render scene, you'll only hopefully you'll only see them from certain angles, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Is just a just when they catch the a certain angle, you'll pick up that they're there, and you may not even acknowledge them as being a blatant vein, like a main jugular or neck vein or forehead vein, but just kind of hints of them being there. So here I am dialing the color in, just matching what's in my concept, and again just pushing the saturation up a bit more. Generally, because my concept, I'm painting over my lighting information from my render, so it doesn't have anything to fight with. So basically, when I put them into my scene, I'm just pushing up the saturation so that hopefully they'll stand up in the render. Just reordering the stack in my shader setup. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult in Mari to get them to sit where you want them to. It's not as easy shuffling them around as I'd like it to be. But yeah, it's not too much of a hassle. Here I'm setting another color, just a goldy tanny color, just to try and establish a kind of upper layer of skin. This is where I'd start to work into the I guess the upper epidermis. If I was splitting into two maps for my rendering, probably the base color and anything up to this point would be the underlying layer, and then the base color plus anything above this point would be my color layer, my upper epidermis. Yeah, it would also be just around this area, depending on the character I'm doing. I'd add any freckles and moles and anything like that. I've got quite a heavy mottling pattern I want to use on this guy, so I'm not really worrying about anything like that. Yeah, if I had a bit more time, I'd probably go and do it at the end, but just add some interest. Just giving a really loose splattering of color there. Just doing a quick fix in here, adding some more red behind the ADOBE. going through and playing with some more red veining after adding the green veins. It kind of called for some more capillaries and so forth. It's just nice to see them the sharp red overlapping over the green, even though the green is over the top of the red. It doesn't really matter. It kind of punches through just because red's such a strong color. So yeah, I'm just playing around with a few of the brushes in the organic palette here, and slowly getting to one of my favorite brushes in the organic palette there, which is Gem Blossom, which is just a great capillary brush. There it is. Just really gives that capillary over fat feel that I'm looking for. Cool, so just going through and doing another splattering over the golden brown layer. Try and get some, I wouldn't say freckling, but something kind of leaning towards that way. I haven't gone as heavy as I did in my concept, because I don't want him to end up looking dirty, so it's one of those layers I'm just doing kind of carefully, and I can revisit towards the end of the paint job if I need to. Trying to use it there a little bit to give some contrast against the pink of the nose. Try and add a bit of a kind of go to a sheep quality to it. And just adding a little bit more red under the eyes, just warming them up. I am going pretty heavy around the cheekbone and brow region with the reds. I know that from my concept, I've got that heavy modeling coming on over the top, so just a quick test render. There's a lot of settings that are yet to be dialed in the render, but I'm just having a look at how the just how the colors render together. So the next layer I've got in my concept is a saturated dark grey color. I'm not going to apply that now. It's something that when I was doing the concept, I went back and did at the end, just because if I do it wrong, it's going to make him look really it's going to look really dirty and kind of screw up the work I've already done. So the next layer I go to do is just doing a dark. I'm getting into the dark modeling. Oh no, sorry. Going to color the horns first. And the reason I'm doing that is to set kind of the darkest point in my paint job, so that when I start doing the dark modeling, it's not going to I can have a better idea of where I'm sitting with it. So yeah, I'm just putting down a kind of off black, warm color, and well, slightly warm grey dark color, and then gonna use a vivid light and apply the displacement over it, just to kind of reinforce the displacement and give me some breakup to start with. I'm not too fussed about the colouring of the horns. It's kind of something that needs to be treated probably as a separate asset at a later point, but just to get them in there. So I'm using the same golden brown color that I just applied to the skin, just in much higher concentration. Just to add some directional